Alright, welcome to the Johnny Come Latelys podcast, episode... I don't know if it's episode 9 or 8. I think I said the last one was 8, but I don't know if that's correct. I haven't edited it yet. Anyway, episode post 7. I am Monodrew. With me, as usual, is...
the lovely Cambrian.
I wasn't sure if you were going to go lovely or dreaded. Either is effective. Yes, how are you?
I'm doing alright. Just, again, work and getting ready for the colder season.
The festivities, and by that we mean Halloween.
Yeah, I had my decorations up last month, man, and we're in October now.
Oh, God. Do you know what? I could say I always have a Halloween decorations up. It's just because I never took down that skeleton in my porch from last Halloween. It's just always hanging up.
No, I have a lot up year round. Mind you, John Lewis had their Christmas stuff out 2 months ago, so...
Oh, God, I was at me folks last night and watching TV with my sister. We're just flicking through channels. Like, I don't see her very often, so we usually just joke about stuff. And fuck me, the 24-hour Christmas channel is on again at this time. It's fucking October, and there's a fucking Christmas channel on Sky.
They really are trying to just get rid of Halloween.
Do you know what? I'm glad I do not pay my TV license, because fuck that.
Yeah. And it's not a legal thing because we also don't watch TV.
Yep, I will clarify for the audience. It's not that I watch TV channels and I'm skipping it. It's I actually do not have a TV hooked up. I don't watch BBC streaming services. I don't watch catch up. I watch no live TV. So technically, I don't have to pay for any of that shit.
Yeah. Despite the fact Doctor Who's coming out today, if I'm not mistaken, I care very little about any other programming. I care very little about that program now.
Just to clarify for folks, this episode is actually recorded a few weeks in advance. Just because of our schedules, like I work all weekdays and Cambrian's got stuff going on as well, and even I have stuff going on sometimes. It's not always guaranteed that we can record every week, so when we can, we do try at least do a few shows. So Doctor Who's starting today, is it?
Apparently so. Anyway, as far as I've seen, I don't know how. I don't really know because I don't pay too much attention to it.
I'll not see it, but I might check out the Twitter again because as I said, I kind of use it mainly to get people's opinions of things. So I'm kind of curious what other people will be saying about it.
Yeah, there's some people who are adamant to defend it, and it just feels like posts on Doctor Who now aren't. I really like this episode, and here's why, or I didn't like this episode, stuff like that. It's all, I can't wait.
We're progressive! Mm.
It's not even that. We're sort of, like...
Yeah.
It's like they're defending it too much now. It's like, you don't have to defend it. I still won't like it, even if you convince me. It's been a bad show for a long time.
It has been it's been a genuinely bad show, just like the quality story, the story quality and other things have just been going down the fucking tubes the past few years. But I never bought too much into the it's overly quote-unquote progressiveness. I never really bought into that until fairly recently, where someone did make a little bit of a compilation where it was, jokes at the expense of men, which I'm not particularly bothered about, fair enough. But to say, all you have to do in your head is reverse the sexes, and if it sounds like really offensive, then it's probably a sexist joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what? It's fucking true. Like, the amount of times they've referenced, like, Time Lords changing sex and how inferior men are and things. Mm. Yeah, it's true. And
well, they'll use that argument for men as well. They'll say if it sounds sexist, if you reverse it. So if we make, and that men do make probably more sexist comments.
Again, I'm not actually too bothered if it is a joke at the man's expense, or if it's more of, can you imagine people getting up in arms about this?
Exactly.
If you can, then maybe it's a sexist joke. It's only. I was
lived by the paradigm. If you don't say it, if you couldn't take it.
Yeah. Oh.
And I can take it, so.
Absolutely. But another thing, I did see a bit of a teaser trail on YouTube a while back where the Doctor smashes through the glass ceiling. So that was as subtle as a fucking brick to the cranium.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like, oh my God. You know what? They've actually been talking about a female Doctor since the 80s, because I actually had the old magazines at the time. It was a topic of discussion in the 1980s about having a female Doctor.
Yeah.
My God, are they really really trying to push it.
Like hammering it now.
Again, I don't know. I don't know if it's really going to reflect that much in the show because I'm one of those few weird people who kind of enjoyed the last Ghostbusters film, you know, the one with the women. The film itself wasn't terrible. I was kind of entertained, but what was off-putting was the blatant politicizing, like the behind-the-scenes stuff, and just how like obnoxious, especially Paul Feig was being. About
really.
saying, "Oh, if you don't like this, it's because you're a sexist and men aren't funny and men are the worst thing ever." And it's like maybe some people just think the movie sucks.
From what I've heard, it didn't do very well and apparently did suck, so...
It didn't do very well. It's not a great film. I kind of enjoyed the experience. It's okay, but I'm also someone who doesn't really give a shit about the original.
Yeah, same.
But obviously there are people who did, and it did really upset them, but it's the whole thing about when people turn on the audience. It's never a smart thing to do.
No.
That's why you get people like rebelling in more obnoxious ways. It's when you're told that your opinion doesn't matter, you kind of want to be more obnoxious about it.
Yeah, because it seems to bother them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about that. I won't be watching Doctor Who, at least not yet. I will probably catch up with it at some point, like I eventually caught up with all of Matt Smith's run. He's a doctor I liked, but by that point the show itself was quite bad. I didn't bother with it when it was on TV. I caught up on Netflix sometime later.
Yeah, I'll probably do a very similar thing. I tend to watch them when I visit my parents.
Yeah. So I'll probably catch up with it at some point, but I am kind of curious to see what the discussion is going to be like afterwards, so I'll keep an eye open for that.
As much as I'm sick of that, like people going on about, oh, finally a woman is the doctor and all that sort of thing. I find it just as bad the other way around as well. Like some of the male responses to it have been just as bad. Like,
sexists exist. Don't get me wrong, but just because he doesn't like something doesn't necessarily mean you are a sexist. You could have like legitimate grievances. Like Doctor Who, I'm not watching it because it's a woman. I'm not watching it because for the past few years the show's been kind of shit.
Yeah, if I suddenly hear the reviews are great, I might check it out.
Oh, if it's reviews from people I trust who enjoyed it, I might check it out.
Yeah, exactly. But just like like you were saying with the whole Ghostbusters thing, it looks like an awful film. I can't be arsed with it. It just feels like a needless film as well. Like I do like the original. I'm not a huge fan, but it feels like a remake without being a remake. You know what I mean?
I think I enjoyed the cartoon series more as a kid. I've seen the film fairly recently, and it was like, it's a good movie. I don't feel the urge to put on a jumpsuit and masturbate over it though for the next 20 years, like some people we knew.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of TV, the new series of American Horror Story Apocalypse is out at the moment. I've not seen it yet either, because of the whole not having television thing. My sister's seen the first 2 episodes. She's really enjoying it, and she absolutely hated the last season Cult. I didn't particularly enjoy it either. It had, like, good points and bad points. It's something else where, like, the politics was a bit too much of a fucking theme in that series.
Shoehorned in a bit. I've heard that about it, actually, yeah.
But it didn't necessarily all go one way. It was kind of taking advantage of the division itself rather than saying one side was right, one side was wrong all the time. But still, even that, if you're showing like certain extreme feminists as being obnoxious, okay, it's a fun commentary. But they're also still obnoxious characters, so I'm still not enjoying the show at this point, because it's the whole annoying character thing you have in horror movies. It's like, okay, the annoying character will die, but I still have to spend a fucking hour with them before it happens, and it doesn't help me enjoy the film.
It's something we've mentioned before, even because I really do enjoy the Halloween movies, but the remake, I wouldn't give a shit about any of the human characters.
Anyone in that film could have died, and I wouldn't have cared.
Michael and Loomis included.
Yeah. Doubly so for the second one.
Oh, yeah. Well, when they changed characters entirely, like everybody changed characters. Michael changed, Laurie changed, she just became a bit fucking emo. And the only one I liked in it was Brad Dourif, because it's Brad Dourif.
Oh, who doesn't like Brad Dourif?
God.
Man, your sound's coming in a bit quiet. I hope I can fix it in editing.
Oh, sorry, is that any better?
I don't know if it might be something on my side. I'm really not sure.
It's like when we were on about Halloween there, actually, me and my girlfriend have been watching all the Halloweens on the lead up to the brand new one. That reminds me, I need to book the tickets are now on sale.
Yeah.
But we've watched them all now, and we're going to go back to the very first one, which we didn't watch. We skipped over it for this reason particular, because the new one only takes into account the first one. So there's literally only a week left, which unbelievable. I remember when it was announced in May. But I'm very excited about that. I also get to meet, which I did mention, I think
a few shows ago, yeah.
Yeah, I do get to meet John Carpenter as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I might link this in the description. You sent me an awesome video, like, what if John Carpenter had done the Doctor Who theme? It's it's very creepy.
You're the only one that I shared, because I shared that with loads of people. You're the only one to watch it. Check it out, it's really good.
Do you know what? The Doctor Who theme itself, someone I used to work with, like in Subway yonks ago, mentioned this, and it's true. Despite the fact it was made in the early 60s, it's like one of the most interesting themes ever made, because it sounds like nothing else of the time.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like it's like electronic, it's eerie, but it's like entrancing. Speaking of other upcoming series, I saw a trailer for the new series of Daredevil last night.
Alright, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it yet.
No, not yet. Oh, I have actually, yes, Kingpin's coming back.
Yes, and there's like a fake Daredevil in it, which a lot of people are already saying it's probably going to be Bullseye.
Yeah. Oh, that would be cool.
I'm kind of glad it looks like Kingpin's going to be the main focus again, because, you know, again, it's like an iconic comic rivalry. And the hand stuff's done with now, which is good, because the fucking hand shit was the worst thing about the Marvel series recently.
Yeah, I only ever saw them in Daredevil Series 2, because I didn't actually watch Defenders or anything yet. I will.
Defenders actually was, I suppose, just depends how you feel when you watch it. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but it was kind of fun in a popcorn kind of way, like Avengers was.
Yeah, cool.
It wasn't like deep or challenging, but it was fun to see the characters interact with each other.
I do need to catch up with like Iron Fist and.
Do you know it's something else actually? I've probably ranted about this before about how much I really hate the first season of Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Because Danny Rand was not likable at all. The Hand were annoying as fuck. Second season is so much better. Like they've really picked it up in the second series.
Oh really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's because they've gotten rid of the Hand, or maybe they've just made Danny a bit more likable, but it's not a great series, but it was far more fucking tolerable.
Yeah. No, I've heard he's quite unlikable though, isn't he? Not as an actor, as a character.
He's probably, oh god, they're basically in the first series they made him like rich hippie kid who speaks bullshit about. He's kind of, I don't know, he's like hipster, annoying hipster with superpowers. Basically the worst thing that would happen if superheroes were real. Yeah. Except maybe SJW Z. I said Z because that's how it identifies.
Yeah. Oh man, I will check them out. I have to.
Oh, God, speaking of comic book films, Venom's out now. I've not bothered to see it. I'm not sure if I will or not. One of my friends really liked it, but as much as I like the guy, I don't think he has the best taste in films.
Right. I've heard a lot of bad things about it.
Because he's really liked other things that people don't as well, and
yeah, I've just heard it's very uninteresting.
Do you know what I've heard from people whose opinions I generally consider to be okay, that it is at best mediocre.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people who have seen it just know it as a film that exists.
Yeah, which
is a shame because Venom deserves better treatment.
I don't even know that much about Venom as a character, but what I do know, I'm very interested in. I've actually been meaning to read more Spider-Man. I've been reading a bit more comics recently, but I don't have too much of Marvel and.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's
the Venoms and that. So if you ever want to lend them,
that might be cool. I've been curious to reading some Captain Americas as well, because it's probably no comparison to what he's like in the films, but he's actually my favourite film Avenger. Yeah,
he's pretty sweet. I think it's because he's flawed.
Yeah.
You've got Thor, you're not going to beat Thor. Or you've got the Hulk.
Well, some people compare him a bit too much to a Boy Scout, a bit like Superman. But the Cap isn't that absolutely strong, and do you know what? It's kind of nice having an idealist, especially when their ideals are challenged.
Yeah, I agree.
So
he's quite a likable character as well.
Yeah.
Good actor.
Oh yeah, look, Chris Evans is good. Apparently, I don't know if this is true. I did see something posted about him. No longer, he's like gonna stop doing the role soon. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I better. I mean, I've been planning up my fitness regime. I think I better get on that so I can take his place. God, that physique just seems like it would be a pain to maintain.
Yeah, probably worth it though.
Oh yeah.
It's more about that. The guy who plays Thor. I think would be a harder.
Oh,
Just be working out
Liam
all the time.
Hemsworth. Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, isn't it?
Oh yes, Liam's his brother, who's also an actor,
Yeah.
and is not as large.
It's just like, I mean, it would be cool and all, but crikey, you would do nothing else. You don't have to, I guess. You thought.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the basic meteor stuff out the way. I'm looking forward to Daredevil, and American Horror Story might be interesting. It's a direct sequel to the first series
Oh, really?
because if you remember, it was kind of a side plot, but the child that's born in that was like prophesized to be the Antichrist.
Yeah, yeah.
It's dealing with that.
Oh, get in. That would be interesting.
That is kind of I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Usually about this time I would talk about Chris Chan, but not much seems to have happened, except that he's protesting. He wants to protest against Trump.
Oh, right. Is that to win public favour, do you think? Oh?
I don't know how capable of thought he is.
Yeah.
It could just be because it's the accepted thing to do, and he's heard that Trump's a bad man, so...
That's what it feels like with him, but that may just be me being biased, thinking that he's a dick.
Well, to be... God, whatever your feelings are on him, I think one of the big questions about Chris Chan is how self-aware Chris Chan is.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that gets a little complicated, especially when he starts spewing out bullshit about the sister dimension, the fact that he's like married to like 5 fictional characters,
Mewtwo included.
Can you fucking imagine that? My God, like I don't have the biggest exposure to Pokemon. I did watch it a little bit, and I did go and see the film on your birthday, but
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to figure out the relationship dynamic there.
I don't see what he finds so sexually appealing.
I don't know.
I think if we did understand that, we'd be worse off as human beings.
Oh, when you look into the abyss, it also looks into you. So let's lighten the mood and talk about false rape accusations.
Oh.
Again, with the Kavana thing, it's another thing. Admittedly, from the few statistics I've seen, the amount of people convicted of like false rape is relatively small. But the fact that there is a mentality of guilty until proven innocent is problematic. We have talked about it before, and there's one specific case I wanted to bring up because it's been brought up again recently. Right, just checking. There's a fella who basically made a website about supporting people who have like suffered from false rape accusations. It's called accused.me.uk. I had a brief check on it, and it's actually surprisingly... I would expect a bit more of maybe an agenda with it. It's quite surprisingly balanced, very honest. Like, you know, some of the statistics aren't reliable, and unless you really study these things, you might not get all these articles, but here they are, you know.
Yeah.
I do kind of appreciate it. It's not definitively saying it has the answer. But one of the cases that was brought up, and this has turned up on my Twitter separately as well, is the thing about Jay Cheshire, who was clear of rape in June of, I think, 2015, had allegations. He was 17 years old. The allegations were withdrawn by the complaint after being filed, resulting in the investigation being closed. Yeah, 2 weeks after that, after he was acquitted, he killed himself by hanging.
Oh.
Because even false allegations have such a stigma. Even if you're proven fucking innocent,
Yeah.
there's always a weird bit of wisdom I remember from Desperate Housewives of all places. When Bree's son was threatening to accuse her of sexual abuse, he was saying, even if you're proved guilty, there will always be that question mark in people's minds whenever they interact or think about you.
No, that's true. With that sort of thing especially.
Yeah, it is disturbing, especially when they may be rare, but cases are known. They are recorded, and because of like the idea that you need to immediately believe the victims, well, the quote-unquote victims, by all means, support people, investigate, if they bring up if they bring up an accusation, investigate it, treat it seriously, but don't just start a lynch mob like the second it, because you could literally say anything which turns out to be bullshit.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
It's like the famous case where, like, oh fuck, I forgot the details now, but it was like decades ago during the Satanic Panic, where like I think it like a foster home or so was shut down because supposedly they were doing satanic rituals and the kids were removed from care. Of course, it was complete and utter bullshit,
Yeah.
but there were still legal consequences. People faced jail time.
Really? Oh man.
God, and
Harsh.
you could say like sexual assault is the new witch hunt.
It is. Yeah. Completely.
Because I think it's totally cool that the whole Jamie Savile thing got exposed, and a lot of people were exposed. Like this awful like behind the scenes shit was brought up.
Yeah.
But for every like genuine thing, there was a lot of finger pointing. Like every week, a celebrity's name was being brought into it. Like Noel Edmonds, Tom Baker, even I fucking remember.
Yeah.
I'm assuming nothing happened with that.
Yeah, because he didn't get any sort of convictions or anything. So thank God.
And Christ, there was that guy. Oh God, just be careful. Like, don't fuel the mob.
And that's what it is. Like you say, like there's no like that could stick, especially for somebody like Tom Baker or well, we mentioned Craig Charles a little while back. Even like he found it very difficult to get any work at all for ages, and that wasn't even sexual assault. That was domestic abuse, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It's an ugly thing. Don't do it.
I probably have actually brought this up in a show before a while back, but it was an idea that was proposed a while ago, and I think it's actually probably the best thing is anonymity.
Yeah.
When an accusation is made, all but the concerned parties, no one else should know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Until it's investigated, because false accusations can fucking destroy lives.
And it's become this thing now where, like, yeah, okay, right, let's say somebody genuinely has had that awful thing happen to them. They've got to then shout about it now, and that's kind of weird to me. It was like, surely it's not shameful. It should never be shameful to ever discover the truth or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's discover the truth before shouting about it.
Yeah, you don't hang someone first and then maybe check to see whether the accusation was true.
Yeah, and that seems to be what they're doing now.
Again, I feel woefully unprepared when I bring shit like this up in the past few weeks, but I feel like it does need to be mentioned because, God, like it can be a political thing, but God, it's like real people are affected.
Yeah.
Whether it's actual sexual abuse victims or people who've been falsely accused, it's not like it shouldn't be a gender thing.
It's such a tarring thing as well.
It's fucking disturbing, man. So
it would go much smoother if people just quit the bullshit from the start.
No, I mean, in terms of the anonymity of the accused, I am all for that, because if they're accused and they're found guilty, then fair enough, face the consequences, but
yeah,
God, never.
Until then,
but let's not bother with super injunctions and shit like that, because that fucking shit doesn't work.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Oh, there's something going on with me, but I'm not allowed to tell you. Hoo-hoo, just don't pay attention. Okay, well, that's gonna draw the attention of every single fucking journalist in existence.
I know. It's such a ridiculous concept as well.
So let's move from the dark subject of rape and false accusations to the much lighter subject of religion and Islam.
Oh, good.
God, I'm so popular.
You just don't want fans.
No, apparently I don't want friends, or apparently my life.
Yeah.
My God, do you know the thing with like the Charlie Hebdo massacre in France?
Oh no.
You would have, because it was like one of the biggest fucking massacres in modern history. The officers of the Charlie Hebdo paper in Paris, when there were like people were fucking shot and raided and people were murdered en masse.
Yeah.
God, it should. It was like one of the major stories. Anyway, it's because they drew unflattering art of the Prophet Muhammad, mocking cartoons.
Oh yeah.
I have genuinely heard people say, "Oh well, if they didn't want these consequences, maybe they should be more respectful." It's like, are you fucking seriously defending the actions of murderers?
Advocating murder.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Anyway, That's not so much the issue. I just thought it's worth bringing up because some fella who's probably not going to do too much drawing in his future, and not just because of religion. Boy accused of blasphemy cut off his own hand. Pakistani boy cut off his own hand following a public accusation of blasphemy.
Okay. Is that how that life is now?
Again, just to add to my sort of suggestion that religion and religious thought be like labeled as like a mental disease.
What's a cult? Like,
literal.
what it actually is.
Quote is saying, "Why should I feel any pain or trouble in cutting off the hand that was raised against the holy prophet?" Many villagers started shaming the boy after a local cleric had made the accusation of blasphemy. What actually happened is there was a sermon, for lack of a better word. The cleric got the crowd into a fervour and asked, "Who among you is a follower of Muhammad?" Everyone raised their hands. He followed with it saying, "Who amongst you doesn't believe in the teachings of the Holy Prophet? Raise your hands." This child, mishearing, raised his hand, and because of the blasphemous action, felt like the only right thing was to fucking mutilate himself.
I bet he wasn't stopped.
I think he actually did it in secret. God, it's kind of hard what to say, because he actually did this to himself.
Yeah.
But it was because of religion. Like, he felt like he had to.
Yeah, that's scary.
Came back home, went to the grass cutting machine, placed it under the machine and chopped it off in a single swirl. Picked up his severed hand from under the machine, breathing profusely, laid it on a tray and took it to the mosque, less than 100 meters from his home.
Only because he misheard somebody as well. Like, he felt such guilt.
Yeah, and
for, a fair mistake.
I mean, people are actually now, ironically, the same people that called him a blasphemer are now hailing him as a hero because of his act of sacrifice. But it is also mentioned there, this is a BBC.com article. I'm not actually 100% sure if I'm supposed to be reading this with the TV license, but whatever. You can see it online yourselves. Right, that, I think it's Kazia, I think that's his name, punched himself so severely after being accused of blasphemy. Is unprecedented in Pakistan, but some say he may have also been spared a much worse fate, an increasingly conservative country where people accused of blasphemy or those who defend them can end up victims of mob violence and lynching. Such a case was in 2011 when Punjab Governor Salman Taseer was murdered by one of his own bodyguards in the capital Islamabad after criticising Pakistan's strict blasphemy laws and voicing support for a Christian woman who was sentenced to death. Another outspoken critic of Pakistan's blasphemy laws, Shahbaz Bhatti, the country's first minorities minister, was a Christian, was shot dead in 2011.
Like, this has to, like, for genuine, you know what I mean, like Muslims and that.
Oh, I feel like they need to quote this. Religion of peace, everyone. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, but for people that practice it and on that shit, that must annoy them, because it paints the religion in such a negative light.
It kind of does, but I think there's something you have to take in consideration. There is a difference between people who may identify of the religion and the teachings of the religion itself, because to be honest, anyone I know in real life who's a Christian doesn't really follow the Bible.
Well, that's it.
Let's be honest. Similar to the fact that people I like and have known who are Muslims, let's face it, you don't really follow the Quran that strictly, because otherwise there'd be more dead bodies around.
Exactly.
Just like the Bible.
Yeah, especially so as well.
I mean,
I say especially. But...
it's pretty much the same in nearly every religion, you know?
Yeah.
That's why it should just be fucking done away with.
I truly believe so. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
And, oh God, I've got another story, but this is just getting too depressing. I might leave this for another week. I don't want to drag us down too much. I've noticed a really funny pattern with the show. We'll start off talking about absolute bullshit, maybe a light story, then it'll get really fucking dark, and then end in a cheery quiz.
A cheery quiz, yeah.
Usually revolving around sexual relations with a celebrity.
That's what we do.
And remember, you're bearing as children because, just going DeviantArt, MPEG is a thing.
Yeah, you on.
And not at all fucking retarded. So, on a lighter note, I actually saw this article today. Someone linked it on Facebook. I just thought I'd follow it.
Yeah.
This is from higherperspective.com. To be honest, it sounds kind of up itself, but Amusing tagline anyway. People really want a reality show where flat earthers hunt for the edge of the world.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I'd be down with that, to be honest.
I'd be down for like crowdfunding a mission to space and then leaving them there.
Yeah. Yo, that'd be awesome. Just crowdfunding a mission to space would be great. Like,
Yeah.
government seems to not be funding it anymore. Like, God.
So you can probably guess what's happening by the title. A lot of people think this is a good idea. This quote kind of got to me. According to Christine Garwood, author of Flat Earth: The Story of an Infamous Idea, everyone in ancient times believed that the world is flat, and we can only change our minds when Christopher Columbus successfully reached the Americas without falling off the edge of the world. That is actually 100% horse shit.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't the first to discover America.
He wasn't the first to discover the Americas, and also I don't know why there's this weird kind of popular myth that he set out to prove the world was round.
No, he was just, what was he? He was.
No, he was literally looking for like I think an alternate path to Asia.
That was it. Yeah.
That was it.
Faster route.
Yeah.
Asia, wasn't it? Yeah.
Because a lot of people already believed the world was round, and as is pointed out later in this article, the fucking ancient Greeks not only predicted a round Earth with mathematics, they actually got it nearly fucking spot on, like the actual size of the planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
But of course, it's bloody. Again, as quoted in this article, there was never a period of flat Earth obscurity.
No.
Greek knowledge of like a spherical Earth never disappeared, and all medieval scholars accepted the roundness of an Earth as a fact of cosmology. But
Like, they were so advanced it was weird, like, mathematically.
yeah,
Great.
do you know what? I'm someone who's shit at maths. I'm one of the worst mathematically minded people. But I appreciate it as that is kind of my own shortcoming. Like, I understand the importance of mathematics, like how it relates to everything, like
Yeah.
physics, everything basically.
Well, it's the literal, well, formula to life, isn't it? Like,
Those who believe the flat Earth theories are convinced that it's impossible to make it to the edge of the world because it's blocked by a massive wall of ice and defended by the world's military powers.
yeah, cool.
So,
That benefits somebody, apparently.
God, it's like some of one of those conspiracy theories where it's like, okay, and the end goal is what?
Exactly. Like, who is that helping? Like, I think we come up with a little joke where it was like, is it the globe manufacturers are making a mint off a phony.
Well, wasn't like originally our joke, but we have made it. It's like, so Reddit commenters suggested like maybe they should be flown to the North or South Pole, perhaps fly them over the outer reaches so they can see it for themselves. However, this sounds like it's turned into an expensive reality show now. Not really, actually. You could actually do this. You could get a lot of people's money together and send someone out there.
Yeah. No. Apparently, somebody took, and this is a true flat earther, took a spirit level on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
It showed that it was even, and there's proof of a flat Earth. And that when he looked out the window, he couldn't see a curve. And there's proof for him. That's his proof. His scientific proof.
God, I might link this in the description as well. There's a really good, I say debate. It was more like a fucking thrashing and shit slinging match between Aaron Ra and Jeranism.
Yeah.
Who Jeranism is a fucking flat earther, and he was coming up with the most outrageous bullshit. It's like, well, if the Earth is round, then surely you can get to this airport and this airport. But it's funny. Why aren't there any flights between them? Like the guy literally looked it up online, said, yes, there is. Here they are. Oh, he didn't have a fucking reply to that. That was funny.
Idiot. Oh, dear.
God, I've actually watched that thing twice now. It goes on for like 2 hours, but it's kind of amusing.
Oh, really?
Plus, Jeranism like started off the whole thing saying he's not like a religious fundamentalist or anything. He just thinks there's scientific proof against the spherical Earth. That's bullshit. Because I've actually seen another video by him who accused a guy talking about the spherical globe as being a servant of Satan. And then, funny enough, he let it slip later on when things were getting heated about like his belief in God. It's like, oh well, there we go.
There it is.
Fucking. Oh god, like a lot of conspiracy theorists or people with an agenda, you're just really fucking disingenuous. It's okay. It's okay, baby.
If you want it.
Apparently, according to the really smart people on YouTube, that video is gay.
Oh, good.
No
I'm glad to clarify that.
No shit!
I
So,
remember seeing that, yeah. The comment that was on, that's gay. Well done.
wow, mind blown.
We're talking about, of course, the What in the Butt song.
Yes, which
Uh,
is annoyingly kind of catchy.
it's just very catchy.
Though
A good song, I guess.
if I find myself singing to it, I probably have to stop because I start getting looks.
Yeah, it's like the Lonely Island or anything by them, I guess.
anything,
My pants song.
anything by Lonely Island.
God, for the first time ever, it would have been last week, I think, because I was out with my girlfriend. She grew up listening to similar music and that, and Kerrang when that was the whole thing.
Oh God, me too.
The Bloodhound Gang, she's heard of them, but she'd never heard the Ballad of Chasey Lane.
Oh wow.
She has now.
That's also kind of irritatingly catchy, but you may want to not sing to yourself too much.
Especially uncensored, yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly, because I watched so much Kerrang, I kind of got used to the censored version more.
So did I, yeah.
So like the sound effects, like the drilling and.
Yeah, that's more natural for me now.
Yeah.
When I actually hear it uncensored, it's kind of like, oh my god, that's
you,
so weird.
you had a lot of.
Yeah. Although the gay bar is a good favourite of ours.
Oh God, that's also very catchy. I have sung that to myself at work before and gotten looks. It's like, oh, it's Electric Six. You know you like it.
I really like the song. I think it's quite good. Like when we were playing Monster Hunter on because we play it online. That's our song. So like all of our shout outs and that, whenever I mount the monsters, I've got something to put in you, and it'll come up in text form.
Yeah.
It's just loads of different quotes from it.
You're a
superstar. I want to spend all your money and
superstar.
all that sort of thing when you use health potions.
You're a superstar.
I thought they were a great band.
I like it when bands just take the piss.
Yeah, like I remember he got into hot water because of his radio blah blah song or something, and everyone was like, "Oh, we're making fun of Freddie Mercury," and it's like, "Well, yeah, so I'm sure he'd love it."
Ah, Miss Freddie.
He was great. Yeah, that's why I'm sure he would love it.
He was like he was dead before I was like even that aware of him, but I did end up becoming like quite a big Queen fan.
Yeah, same.
Not like
I don't know anyone.
I'm not like the biggest Queen fan, but I like a lot of the music, and whenever I see a show, that guy was a fucking showman.
Oh, he was, and I don't know anyone who doesn't like at least one Queen song,
Yeah.
if not all Queen songs. Like,
There's one or two I'm not a big fan of, but I like most of them.
yeah, exactly. Like they don't bother you. It's just they're just not something you choose to listen to all the time.
Anyway, we're running out of time. I do want to fit in one news story. Of course, it matches in my interest of mortality and mountain climbing.
Sweet.
It's not that much of a news story. It's from June of this year, so a little while back. A man died climbing Mount Everest in a cryptocurrency publicity stunt gone horribly wrong. In May, social network Ask FM sponsored a group of cryptocurrency enthusiasts to climb Mount Everest as part of a marketing stunt for their forthcoming ICO. Bearing in mind, climbing Mount Everest, even for the most experienced mountaineers on Earth, is like a very... It's not the hardest mountain, but it's still a fucking serious, life-risking endeavour.
It's something that shouldn't be taken lightly.
Yeah. Ask FM buried hardware wallets containing $50,000 worth of the company's token at the top of the mountain and encouraged people to retrieve them. On the company's return, it was reported one of the guides who accompanied them went missing. He is now thought to have died on the mountain, and since this was a little while ago, he was confirmed to have died on the mountain.
Yeah, I see.
To attract the public interest, they asked 4 cryptocurrency enthusiasts with the audacious mission of scaling Mount Everest to bury 2 hardware wallets. The wallets could later be retrieved by someone brave enough to scale them out. God Christ.
So they killed people.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to sound like really pretentious here by referring to people as lay people, because I've never climbed Everest, but I do know a bit about it. The people here clearly know nothing about what is involved. Like, the danger... Even how the fucking ice works, because if you bury something in the snow... Hell, if someone dies and their body drops on the snow, they are probably going to be encased in that thing for fucking ever, unless, like, 8 people come and dig them out.
Yeah.
So,
Really dumb.
Company posts document the company's return. Ask FM being the world's top 10 social networks and world's largest queuing platform can definitely avoid making symbolic statements and drawing attention. There were issues with the journey and mentions that 2 of the climbers were stranded with no reserve oxygen until they were rescued by air response on the second day. And it glosses over the fact that the journey cost one of the climbers its life.
Yeah, worth it,
Lind, also, as does happen, which does not help relations at all, the fellow who died was one of the Sherpas.
Oh, man.
So, one of the locals. It doesn't help the image of, like, fucking rich, spoiled people go on an adventure at the cost of the locals.
No, definitely not.
CEO said the event was tragic and horrifying, but said he did not believe that Ask FM should be blamed. Fuck you!
I do. So, because you should.
Guide said that the guy belonged to a professional group of mountaineers, and though all inquirers later his death should be directed at them, not us, for fucking starting this stupid stunt. When asked whether or not he felt ICO marketing stunts had gone too far, Sarek, he's the guy, the CEO, said he didn't think that ICO marketing stunts and standard marketing were dissimilar, and that he felt it didn't make sense to blame his company for a publicity stunt gone wrong.
Yeah.
Poor $1 million company getting the blame just because someone died. Since this isn't on camera, I'm doing the Always Sunny. You got addicted to crack? Like, just rubbing my eyes.
I mean, look, this person has... Right, would this person have lived had this person not done this marketing stunt? Yes, it's your fault then.
Probably. I mean, fair enough. He's a professional guide, so he may have died at some point.
I know,
But
come on, man.
being there at that situation, at the behest of this stupid stunt, is entirely the fault of those people being doing it.
Oh dear, that's just that's a little sad.
Christ. No, people talk about the fucking circus that Mount Everest has become. I can't fucking argue when you get bullshit stories like this.
Yeah, I know.
Christ.
Although I would like to see Chris Chan climb it. I'd watch that.
I don't even think Chris Chan can walk up a gentle incline these days.
I know what you mean. My God, we were just watching that video. You know the documentary thing.
Yeah.
When he goes on a rant, he gets out of breath so easily.
Oh, what? When he's pretending to be a bro with his fake tattoo sleeves and.
Oh, that was funny as hell. That. Everything that he's ever done was a joke.
God, do you know what? This does sound a bit mean, and I'm pretty fat guy myself. But I am physically active and I do stuff. I just have a lot of fat I still need to get rid of. I remember fucking years ago getting out of breath from shit like just walking or getting warm, like sweaty from eating. My God, that's like the Christ.
Yeah.
It's really shameful to think back to those days. And the fact that like adults can live like that, like by choice, just fucking blows my mind.
I know. I'll be honest with you. You've improved massively, and that's the difference between you and someone like Chris Chan. I have too, because I'm
I know you.
by no means a spring chicken, and especially lately. I've put a lot of weight on, but you know, I'm still technically healthy. I'm just a bit fat.
Oh yeah, I've got. To be honest, I was debating whether or not we should actually maybe try and do a show related thing. To do with like fitness, whatever. We can talk about it later. Yeah, I've got a lot of fat to shift, but I hike, I camp, I'm active, I jog, I go to the gym. I'm healthier. You know, I may still be unreasonably heavy, but I'm healthier than I used to be.
Well, exactly.
And
that's the difference, though, isn't it?
And I'm not getting out of breath like from walking up a bit of an incline.
Or ranting about how your fans aren't rallying around you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I am a bit upset the fans aren't drawing, you know, fan fiction of me and my fucking fictional marriages, but whatever.
Lario,
oh yeah. Yeah, come on, you know. Fuck it.
We'll get to that.
Why don't I just give up and just myself just pretend I'm in fact married to Lara Croft?
You could.
All the versions of Lara Croft, you know, make it polyamorous and sexy and pixely. Oh, those things, I jab my eyes out.
Yeah, I know.
Christ. How do we get on to Chris Chan again? I love it how I've had things to mention about Chris Chan in the past 2 shows. Nothing really to mention on here, but we've still managed to talk of probably half the show relating in some way to it.
Yeah, I know. To it.
It is a thing. It's that time again. The intellectual circus that is BuzzFeed.
Oh yes, get in.
Now, this is an interesting quiz. It's not directly related to Ryan,
No.
except depending on the answer, you might want to get like, extra busy with building your perfect life with him. This is how many years do you have left to live?
Yes.
Now, I have done this quiz myself, but I will not give my answer until the end.
Ah.
This one is actually image based largely, so I will have to send you the images.
That's fine. If you want to Facebook, send them though, because it might be a bit easier.
Yeah, fucking hell. You know, I appreciate Skype allowing me to communicate like this, but my god, the messaging on it sucks.
Yeah.
It's so
But
slow.
only recently though, it used to be so much better.
Plus, I don't like. Plus, my computer's getting a bit old. I don't know if I just really need to upgrade at some point. Let me just find the buzz quiz.
Thanks.
My god, I got like Christian fucking screenshots here.
Oh no. Yeah.
Ah, here we go. Right, so we're gonna work out how long you're gonna live. The first question is, well, the first challenge, I guess, is. My god, that Angelina Jolie painting. My
Oh
Christ.
yeah, no, I've just seen that.
Pick an animal.
Very good painting, but God. Right, well, the animal I would pick, it looks to be what I would say was a cat or a tiger. I'll pick that one.
The feline at the top.
Yeah, in the top middle.
Oh, excellent. Oh, this one I don't need to send, it's just a question. Pick a sport. We've got basketball, bicycling, running, skiing, football, or soccer. I'm going to assume this is an American or a Canadian doing this, as they have listed football and soccer as separate things.
Yeah, yeah. I do like American football actually as well.
Though I do call like British football soccer just to purposely piss people off.
Well, to be honest with you, yeah, because if I won't go on too much, but the American football is always called football, where we do go by soccer, so it actually makes more logical sense to call it soccer.
Despite the fact you use your feet more in whatever.
Yeah, I know, but still. I would probably go. I'll say football if it's American football.
It
because
is.
I quite enjoy it. Yeah.
I quite like the culture surrounding it.
Yeah, same.
Oh, yeah, I suppose I best send a picture of this just in case you don't have the
Is it a closed Lara? Because that would be nice too.
I was about to say I have plenty of them. I don't know if that sounds creepier.
You're a fan. I've got Godzilla everywhere, so.
Oh no, I do. And plus, I've got like my own screenshots I've taken when I've played the game for like editing videos.
Yeah.
Pick a font.
A font. I'll go Gothic.
I did that too, purely because it says Gotham.
Exactly.
And I honestly don't have that much of a preference for other fonts.
Yeah, same. I know people who are wild about them.
I use like a stupid squiggly one on these videos, but I forgot what it's called. Right, next question. If I can find the thing. God, you know what? I should really just send you these quizzes in the link and just go through. It'd be so much easier. Anyway, I'm committed now. Unlike Daisy was. Anyway.
Remember you, Daddy.
Oh, do you know what? I didn't even have to send you this either. What season is your favourite?
Well, fall, I imagine it's got. Yeah, fall.
Yeah. I was expecting that.
Yeah.
I actually put the same.
It is the most fun.
But kind of because there wasn't a I don't care option, because I think every season has its charm.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I will definitely have to send you this one. Oh, yeah. My penis. Okay. Pick a color combination.
Okay. Quickly there, I'm going to go for the red blue on the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one because it reminds me of those magnets.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I just thought of that.
It's cool, right?
Okay, I think we're about done, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, they can determine how long I've got left to live just off 4 or 5 questions.
Yeah. Doesn't give you
BuzzFeed aren't wasting time.
doesn't give you a cause of death, mind. That would have been nice to know. Because if it was like, death by blimp, I would make a mental note to avoid blimps.
Well, this is it, yeah.
Pick a insect.
I'm liking the look of the one that's third top right.
Yeah?
I don't know what it is, but I like it.
It looks like a louse of some kind.
It's got hooks for hands, and I'll go with that.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's
Probably
a louse.
a louse then, yeah.
I'm not the biggest entomologist. However you fucking say it.
Yeah.
I don't work well with words, but I know what I mean. So the world should change to suit my needs. I shouldn't improve myself. That's the fucking way of today. Speaking of bugs, a few of my family are in Portugal at the moment, so I'm looking after my cousin's giant African land snail.
Oh, wow, cool.
It's actually about as complex to care for as my other pets, so not really that hard at all.
Yeah.
Just slimier and probably I need to give it some fresh veg today, but that's about it. Okay.
That looks fun though, just to watch.
Ah, he's a big bugger.
Yeah.
Apparently they do grow really quick because he didn't have it that long ago and it was a baby then, and it looks about adult size now.
Oh, really? Dang.
So, last question, which I quite enjoyed because it reminded me very much of shattered memories during one of the therapy sessions. Pick which one of these looks most like a flower.
Like a flower. Okay. Well, none of them.
God, can I just say, like, Shattered Memories is very underrated as a game.
I think it's a great game. Right, if let's say the grid is on the top 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 at the bottom.
Yeah.
Number 4.
So the one in kind of the bottom left corner.
Bottom left, yeah, because it looks like there's somebody stood there in a flower mask.
Okay, I don't know if you're ready to hear this, man.
I'm already dead.
You have 13 years left.
Oh, that's alright.
Man, that's unlucky as fuck. You know how many years I also have left?
Go on then.
13. We had more or less identical answers for all of them.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So, oh God, we are. Do you know what? I mean, I'm not going to say what your age is, but honestly, 43, it's not the worst age.
Yeah.
I just need, I mean, well, it's not great, it is pretty young by today's standards, but hey,
In the teeth.
yeah, you know what? Let's just make the next 10 years really memorable.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I will take the leap and I will buy that red teapot I was looking at this morning.
Living it wild.
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know if you want to...
Teapot though, wow, that's awesome actually. God, I'm old.
Yeah. I like teapots. I like tea, but I find if you're just making a cup, if you're not having one straight afterwards, you'll probably end up wasting a tea bag. So,
Yeah.
let it stew for a while, it'll be great. Anyway, so I don't know if you want to tell Ryan that, or keep it to yourself and just try and make the most of your time.
I might just keep that one to myself. Don't tell Ryan.
You know, there's
We have secrets.
gonna be enough stress with the fucking 5 children you're presumably gonna pop out in the next year.
I mean, that might be why I die eventually. Just drop them off alone.
Internal hemorrhaging, like long term.
Yeah.
Christ, that's not even funny. I know someone who's like had health problems due to childbirth.
Oh.
It's not that bad, but like not as bad as death, but still. Yeah, you're gonna die in 13 years. I'm gonna die in 13 years, and guess the world will keep on spinning, or flipping around since it's flat.
I
Like
wonder if that's really what they think is. I don't.
No. In their mind, it's a disc that just kind of rotates. Like it's a disc that spins. It doesn't like flip. It's sort of like there's a point, like a record. There's a point in the middle that's more or less central, and everything else goes around.
If that was the case, gravity wouldn't. Oh God.
They
No,
don't.
again,
They don't believe in gravity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was today's show. Pretty much par for the course, religion, sex, and death.
Yay!
Yay! Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, you're probably one of the dead people.
We can laugh at Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. Anyway, I have been Monodrew.
I have been Cambrian.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Opening song was taken from Self-Deceived by X Takes Rooks, who you can find at X Take Rooks. That is xtakerux.bandcamp.com. That's their official website. You can also find them on YouTube, Twitter, and SoundCloud. Once again, that is X Take Rooks. Other audio taken from various media found at archive.org.